We on the streets in the war zones, pushing this truth until we get called home. I got brothers I could fall on, any situation brothers I could call on. All we gotta do is log on, send a chain message saying if the God's home. Our brother need help now, no matter what it is, we deny self now. Nobody getting let down, for the most high we gotta put our best down. Man, I love this brotherhood. On the road again, hitting up another hood. Up north, down south, Midwest, it don't matter, we gon' bring it out. Scriptures keep ringing out. We gon' speak it, we gon' rap it, even sing it out. Camp shirts blinging out. We gon' shine with these laws, what you be about?
All right. Shalom. Most High in Christ, blessed to everybody. I'm Brother Raphael. To my right,
I'm Brother Ra'anan.
And to my left,
Brother Jacob.
Today's topic: Lies My Preacher Told Me, Volume 2. Did Christ change the Sabbath? That's the question. Because unfortunately, for some of the biblical Israelites, which just happen to be you so-called blacks and so-called Hispanics whose fathers are of Negroid and any descent, we are confused, okay? Because these preachers, like you see them up there on the class pic, false prophets, they're the ones that set the tone for our people in their belief system. And unfortunately, some of them seem to think that the law's done away with. They seem to think that Christ changed the Sabbath. It's funny because when I was in Christianity, I used to listen to with this brother named Smokey Norfolk, whatever, I think that's what his name was. Remember him? He had a song, in the intro it said that Christ trumped the Sabbath. So being in Christianity, you just believe what you hear because you don't study. Like, you just hear it, okay? But he said Christ trumped the Sabbath. So instead of me doing my own research, I just took it face value. Now when you come to the truth, no, listen to what I'm saying. Hear my point.
Before the truth.
I said before the truth now. Hear what I said before the truth is what I said. I'm going to say it again. Before the truth, because remember, in Christianity, you go by what you hear.
Yeah, you're not reading.
You're not reading anything. I didn't read it. I just said, okay, well, that sounds okay. That's probably why we do what we do. We go to church on Sunday, because that's basically what you're being taught because that's what you hear. But the difference is now, being in the truth, in this marvelous truth, you have to go as it is written. You go to the scriptures, and you're able to see it for yourself. Did Christ change the Sabbath day? That's the question, okay? But as customary, you can't say I have Christ and no laws, and you just can't say I have laws and no Christ. They have to be coupled together. So give me the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20, and I want the Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10, because precept must be upon precept. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20.
Okay.
To the law,
because the Bible is compacted with laws. Go ahead.
And to the testimony.
Now let's find out what is the testimony. So we're going to jump from book to book. Precept must be upon precept to gain understanding what is the testimony. So go to the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10, and we're going back to Isaiah 8 and 20. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
And I fell at his feet to worship him.
Go ahead.
And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant.
That's who we are. We are the servants of the Most High through Christ. That's what we are. Read on.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus.
The testimony of Christ, the Messiah, the King of Kings. Go ahead.
Worship God.
Worship the Most High. We call him the Most High because there's no other power above him. That's why we call him the Most High. Read.
For the testimony of Jesus,
go ahead,
is the spirit of prophecy.
So the testimony of Christ, the Messiah, the Son of the Most High, is the spirit of prophecy. If you do not have the spirit of Christ on you, brothers and sisters, you will not understand this Bible in its entirety. You will be lost in the sauce just reading and not having no understanding at all. And that's what a lot of people are doing. They just go along, they read stuff, not comprehending what they're reading to understand why you do what you do. You can't explain to me, why do you go to church on Sundays? Because a lot of people, they just do stuff just to do it. Okay? So let's go back to Isaiah 8 and 20, and I want Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23, brother.
The book of Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
To the law.
Okay.
And to the testimony.
Go ahead.
If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Now, the Bible says there is no light in them, right? Because of your Bible, of your spiritual leader, whoever you may call, and they're not speaking precept upon precept, line upon line, as it is written, there is no light in them. So where is the light according to the Holy Bible? Let's go to the book of what? Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23. Go ahead, brother.
The book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp.
The commandment is a lamp. Okay, you have a lamp. In this context, you're in a dark place called sin. And with the lamp, the commandments in Christ does, it illuminates you and it helps you navigate through sin. Especially if you're committing sin, it helps you to correct you. So if I'm in the midst of sin, transgression of the law, I'm a person that loves to constantly keep lying all the time, or I love to keep stealing, or if I'm a murderer, okay, I have to be able to be corrected through the commandments. Okay, go ahead.
And the law is light.
And the law is light, because Christ says, let your light so shine in Matthew 5:16. So when you cover the laws with Christ, you become that light. You become that light, okay? You know, you navigate through the darkness, which is sin. Go ahead.
And reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
Now, reproofs of instructions are the way of life. Because what reproof is correction. Okay, if I'm a transgressor of the law, okay, which is sin, what happens, I cover the laws with Christ. And I say, okay, did Christ break the commandments? Was Christ a liar? Was Christ a thief? So if Christ wasn't a thief or a liar, guess what Christ was doing? Keeping the commandments. He is the commandments. So we have to understand, we have to follow him and to keep the commandments. But you know something? This society say they love God. Don't they? They say they love God. Or love God. Right? But let's find out if they really true love him, though. Let's go to the book of Exodus 20. Start at verse 1. And I want 1 John 5 and 3. Because y'all on this love doctrine, right?
Yeah. I love this.
Everybody's in love. Everybody in love. Right? We're gonna do some we're gonna dissect a little bit. I'm gonna go a little bit quicker with this. It won't be long. Bear with us. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And God spake all these words.
So the Most High spake all these words. Let's dissect and find out if people truly do love God. Go ahead.
Saying, I am the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
Which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
Out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage. So Egypt in this context is, remember, we were brought out of Egypt and the Lord spoke only to Israel. And as you can see, he's given Israel the laws. Right? Let's go.
Verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So let's examine this society. Don't they have multiple gods? You have white man Jesus, the top head demon. Then you got other people worshiping Allah. They worshiping Krishna. worshiping the flag, because when you put your hand on your heart, you are paying homage to that flag. That's a god. People, if you burn that, you do something to that flag, somebody kill you for that. Okay, that's idolatry, right? Go ahead. That's how other gods. Keep reading.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above.
Don't they have the American flag, the American flag with the eagle?
Mm-hmm.
That's in heaven above, right? So they have that symbol. Some people cry for that symbol. They put tattoos of that symbol. They bow down. There's a graven image, because remember, that flag is a graven image too. Because when you put your hand over your heart, what you're doing, you casting that up as an idol.
Just like in Daniel.
Exactly.
When they had to basically pledge allegiance to that statue.
There you go.
And they played the music. The same thing they do here.
Right. So when you pledge of allegiance or playing Star Spangled Banner, putting your hand over your heart, you breaking this commandment. Because that's a grave, because what you're doing, you're worshiping that. You can say what you want. Worship is making a commitment to something. And when you put your hand over your heart, what are you doing? You're worshiping that flag. And you got a lot of people upset because these professional athletes are doing what? All they're doing is protesting, which America said they can do.
Right.
America, a constitution say you can do this, but then what you do, you get mad at people for doing it. You say, oh, you know what? They're disrespecting the flag. When the Constitution that's supposed to be authentic and supposed to be real, supposed to protect my right to go and protest silently. But no, some people want to boo these football. They want to boo folks and treat people all kinds of ways, just exercising your right.
Well, they made the little fake Colin Kaepernick dolls and stuff like that, and burnt them, burnt his jersey.
Right. Read it again. Keep reading.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above.
Go ahead.
Or that is in the earth beneath.
Go ahead.
Or that is in the water under the earth.
Keep reading.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Yeah, you can say bow down. It's still the same thing. You're making a commitment. If I put my hand on my heart and I'm pledging allegiance to something, that's still bow down to it. Because I'm worshiping it. Because I'm making a commitment to it. I'm crying over it. Forget God. I'm gonna worship that flag. And that's what makes America such hypocrites. Because how you say you love God, you're gonna go to how you love God. Keep reading. Get better.
Nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Jump to verse 7.
Verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Don't they do that? Say God loves everybody. God don't hate. We can show you God does hate. That's a damn lie. So we can show you that in the scriptures, but that's taking the Lord thy God name in vain. Go ahead.
Should we read verse 6?
Yeah.
Verse 6. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
That's how you love God. Because he's saying showing mercy to them that love me and keep my commandments. Right? Give me 1 John 5 and 3. And we have to do this.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
For this is the love of God.
So this is the love of God. Because if I say I love God, I love the Most High Power, what should you do? Read.
That we keep his commandments.
That we do what?
That we keep his commandments.
So you keep saying don't keep commandments, you're the damn devil. That means you're a liar, because the scripture said this is how you love God, you keep his commandments. Go back to Exodus 20 and 6 again, brothers, I understand.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
That love me and what?
And keep my commandments.
1 John 5 and 3 again.
For this is the love of God.
Go ahead.
That we keep his commandments.
Are you sure that's a misprint?
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
Read.
And his commandments are not grievous.
That means it ain't hard to do. That means you don't have to make excuses. Oh, well, nobody can keep the commandments perfect, brother. Oh, that's how many commandments? How many statutes did you keep in this man's wicked kingdom? And you don't complain about that. But as soon as it comes to God, it's always a problem. It's controversial when it comes to the Most High's commandments. Because you don't want to do them. That's just keep it honestly. You do not, a sinful man won't be reproved, but make an excuse to do according to his will. That's what the Bible says. Now keep reading on Exodus.
So verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Go ahead.
For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
Give me verse 8 now.
Remember the Sabbath day.
And do what?
To keep it holy.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. That's what the Lord says. When you keep something holy, what does that mean? You keep it perfect, beautiful, set apart. The Lord said, this is the day. Read.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
You hear that? 6 days should you labor and do all thy work, which means you do all your preparations and everything, right? But go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord.
It's not a Christian Sabbath. You saw it in a Jewish Sabbath.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
The Sabbath of the Lord thy God is his Sabbath day. That's the day he set apart to do what? And we're going back to the beginning of it too. Was that it, brother?
No, in it thou shalt not do any work.
Now we're going to find out through some literature that they encourage certain Christians to do work on the Sabbath day. Judaizing and stuff like that, they say. All these fancy words they want to use to confuse you.
Call you a Jewish Christian.
Right. What the hell is that? You know, it's sad. I'm telling y'all how simple people are. Because the Bible says something totally different. Read on, brother.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
Go ahead.
Thou nor thy son.
Go ahead.
Nor thy daughter.
Go ahead.
Thy manservant. Nor thy maidservant.
Go ahead.
Nor thy cattle.
Go ahead.
Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Go ahead.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth.
Oh, is that right? How many days was it?
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth.
Go ahead.
The sea and all that in them is. And rested the seventh day.
Rested the seventh day at the first day. You saw it the seventh day?
And rested the seventh day.
Read and give me Genesis 2:1-3. We're gonna find out when it was instituted. Go ahead.
Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
And did what to it?
And hallowed it.
And hallowed it. So when you hallowed something, he blessed the seventh day and hallowed it. Why on God's green earth will the perfect Messiah come to earth and do away with his holy and blessed of the Lord? What that means is he is contradicting his father. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Messiah, the King of Kings, come to earth and destroy what was instituted by his father? If he says, wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, why would he change something that's hallowed? Prove that to me, so-called Christians. I'll wait. But let's get to the scriptures. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1-3. And give me Exodus 12:16.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them.
All the host. So now creation, through the Spirit of Christ and the hosts of heaven, the creation is completed now. The Lord gave the order. It was completed. Creation is completed. Read.
And on the seventh day.
What day was it again?
And on the seventh day.
The seventh day. Read.
God ended his work which he had made.
Go ahead.
And he rested on the seventh day from all his work.
Go ahead.
Which he had made.
Verse 3.
And God blessed the seventh day.
He did what to the seventh day?
And God blessed the seventh day.
And did what?
And sanctified it.
And sanctified it. Read.
Because that in it he had rested from all his work, which God created and made.
So, this is where it was instituted. The Sabbath day was instituted after creation. And he hallowed it, sanctified it, and is holy. All these words are synonymous with the Sabbath day. But what they try and do is circumvent laws, trying to figure out ways to not do God's laws, what you're telling me is you hate God. Because we just proved in the Bible, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments aren't grievous. Because if I show you the Bible, I just read this, right? Let's say I don't know a damn thing. And I just read, I said, okay. God blessed the seventh day. And he rested on the seventh day. He sanctified the seventh day. That means it's the Lord's day. That means I'm not doing nothing because the Lord ain't doing nothing on that day. That's just me not knowing nothing. But you got people that's supposed to be educated dummies, go to Bible scholar, go to these theologians, don't even have don't understand nothing. In simplicity, I just read, hallowed, sanctified, holy. How in the world could you misunderstand that? I tell you what it is. You the devil. Because the devil is the only one that never told you to keep commandments. Think about that for a minute. Y'all let that sink in for a minute. We're going to keep reading. Lies My Preacher Told Me, Volume 2. We got more volumes to come.
Right.
Lord's will. But this one right here dealing with the Sabbath day. Because some of y'all get so caught up in rhetoric and no proof to prove to us that the Lord himself changed the Sabbath day. But let's give more history. Let's go to Exodus 12 and 16. And I want Exodus 13, verse 8 through 10.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation.
Now, this is the Passover. All right? We showing y'all how the Sabbath day was first instituted in creation. How what Sabbath day really represents, y'all, is the beginning of the feast days. It summarizes the feast days. Okay? That's why we want to pull this to show you this is one of the Sabbath days that we supposed to celebrate. But go ahead and say it should be a what? Go ahead, brother.
And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation.
A holy convocation, y'all, is a holy gathering. Okay? For all the people of the book, the Israelites, the repentant Israelites, to come together to serve the Lord. And to promote what? Brotherhood, unity. Okay, go ahead.
And in the seventh day there shall be the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you.
You see that statue? It's a statue within that. Statue within that law is a Sabbath day, the first day, and the last day of that feast. If I were you, I'll be happy with that because the Lord gave us that holy rest. Give me Exodus 13:8, and then give me Exodus 16.
The book of Exodus, chapter 13 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, this is done because of that which the Lord did.
Now remember, you're teaching your children now. Because remember, that's what we're supposed to do as parents for our children that's raised up in the commandments. The same way we teach our children the falsehoods of this man's kingdom, Santa Claus, Christmas, all that crap. This is what you're supposed to be teaching your children. You're supposed to teach your children. What does it say again, brother? What does it say? What does it say?
The book of Exodus, chapter 13 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt show thy son in that day.
Go ahead.
Saying, this is done because of which the Lord did unto me, when I came forth out of Egypt.
You see what you're supposed, that's the history you're supposed to be teaching your children. The Lord brought us out of Egypt. That's why we keep this. To commemorate why the Lord did what he did for us. Keep reading.
And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand. And for a memorial.
You see that? That's the true memorial. You put to celebrate. Go ahead.
Between thine eyes. That the Lord's law may be in thy mouth.
The what may be in the mouth?
The Lord's law may be in thy mouth.
The Lord's law may be in your mouth. Not falsehoods, not Thanksgiving, not Christmas. That's supposed to not trick-or-treating. Go ahead, brother.
For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year.
From year to year. You keep the ordinance, which is the law. From year, the Passover, you keep is a Sabbath. You're dealing with the Sabbaths, the feast days. It's showing you is an ordinance. This is what you're supposed to tell your children. Because what they do, they raise their children up in the commandments, and it keeps going on and on. But what happened? We discontinued from our heritage, so therefore we forgot the law. And that's why we keep in Thanksgiving, Christmas, Santa Claus. Because we don't know who we are. So what happens? Christianity seeps in and poisons the hell out of you. And got you thinking, no, we don't have to keep the laws. But I bet you go get you a damn Christmas tree. And go get you some Easter baskets and Easter bunnies and all that crap. Paganism.
Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah. You do that all day. But when it comes to God, it's always something. Oh, wait, you know, we can't do that because, you know, brother, that was done away with. No man can keep the laws.
You don't have to keep God's holy days holy.
Right.
But you can keep the pagan holy days holy.
Right. Okay. Give me Exodus 16, verse 2 through 6. Read all the way down.
The book of Exodus chapter 16 and verse 2. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel.
Of the what?
Of the children of Israel.
He ain't said nobody else.
Right. Murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness.
You know what's significant about that, y'all? Lord's will, we got the Feast of Tabernacles coming up. This right here we about to read is synonymous with that. Because the same way we murmur and complain now about keeping commandments, that's the same way our people were doing back then. Same thing. You always, when it comes to God, oh man, we got to do this. But when it comes to so-called white man stuff, oh, I'm in the Christmas spirit. You can't wait to go get you a big Christmas tree. Big old ham and all that type of stuff for Christmas. When it comes to God, it's always controversial, always hard. Can't figure it out. Oh man, I don't know that. He ain't really mean that. But when the white man said keep Christmas, you know what that mean. Thanksgiving, you know what that mean. Every fourth Thursday, you know what day that is. Go get you the big turkey. Okay, Easter, you find out the big Easter bunny and all that crap. You know what to do. You know how to do that. Oh, you know the ordinances of that. You know the little intricacies of that. When it comes to God's laws, it's always you don't know what to do. Nah, that's not for us. Okay, keep on being simple. Keep reading. Keep reading, brother.
Verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them,
go ahead.
Would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt.
See, that's us. That's us right there. You complain against God. God implements laws. This is what I want you to do. I love you. Man, the Lord don't, man. You brought us out of Egypt to kill us. That's it. That's how you know this is our people right here. That's us. Let's just keep it real. Read. Keep reading.
When we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full.
Oh no, you can just like America, man. We used to eat, man, big old T-bone steaks, man, and damn, shrimp, man.
Yeah, water.
Man, we had
Gave me good eats, good sleeps.
Man, we had the best, man. Here you done got us up in the wilderness, man. Man, damn, them chitlins was good as I don't know what.
They're like, I want to go back to
I want to
captivity.
go back to America. I had it so good over there. Same with Egypt. This is our people right here. Same spirit. Keep reading.
For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness.
This wilderness. Look at this place. Man, what are we supposed to do here? I mean, no red lobster? No, I mean, goodness, man, nothing. I'm telling you, man, I pray that we make it. And I pray there's no rebels on our watch. Lord's will. Keep reading.
To kill this whole assembly with hunger.
See? You're not. This shows our unbelief, though. This is us. Our unbelief. Here, God just delivered you from your doggone oppressor. He parted the Red Sea, destroyed your oppressor, and you still complaining. That's Israel for you. Never satisfied. Never. That's how we the children of Israel. Children do that. Complain. Complain. Well, I want something to drink. Give you some water. I want some Kool-Aid. You said you was thirsty, but I don't want. I want Kool-Aid. The Lord gave you what you need. He ain't give you what you want. But see, that's our problem. We so wrapped up. We think the Lord supposed to do what we want him to do. But we ain't calling the shots. He's calling the shots. And he don't need us. We need him. Keep reading.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Then said the Lord unto Moses,
Go ahead.
Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. And the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them.
I may do what to them?
May prove them.
That's what the Lord's doing for us, right? He's proving us now. He's giving us space to get ourselves together. We ain't trying to hear it, though. To prove them. Go ahead.
Whether they will walk in my law or no.
That's how we do. The Lord, he said, okay, all right. I'm going to rain bread from them. I'm going to give them instructions. I want you to do it this way. We're going to find out if Israel going to listen. Keep reading. We're going to find out.
Same thing today.
We're going to find out if you're going to listen. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And it shall come to pass.
Go ahead.
That on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in. And it shall be twice as much as they gather daily.
The Lord is telling you a preparation day. Let me give you an example. Lord's will, we have the memorial blowing the trumpets Thursday night at even. Your preparation day should be on Wednesday or before it gets dark on Thursday. So the Lord give you space preparation the 6th day, right? On the regular Sabbath day, to give you space to prepare. But let's find out what Israel does. Find out what we do. Watch this.
Verse 6. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, at even, then ye shall know that the Lord have brought you out from the land of Egypt.
He brought you out of the land of Egypt. Jump to verse 16.
Verse 16. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded.
Go ahead.
Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents.
These are statutes the Lord giving you. Instructions. Read.
And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less.
Some less. Go ahead.
And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack.
Go ahead.
They gathered every man according to his eating.
Like he was supposed to. Go ahead.
And Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning.
You hear what he's saying? Let no man leave of it till the morning. Let's find out what we did. Watch this.
Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses.
Same way you so-called Christians don't want to do it today. Same way some of you people that even in Israel don't want to listen to the Lord. The Lord said, do it this way. Nah, we're going to do it our way. Then they ain't listen. Moses saying, this is what the Lord said do. Same way we try to tell y'all. The Lord said do this. I ain't trying to hear that. Go ahead, read.
But some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them.
Right. Because he's saying, wait a minute, man, I just told you, hard-headed people, do what the Lord told you to do. But now look at everything stinking and nasty. Worms, all kinds of stuff all over the place. Because you ain't want to listen. Keep reading.
And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating.
Go ahead.
And when the sun waxed hot, it melted.
Because you ain't listening. Keep reading.
And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread.
Go ahead.
2 omers for one man.
Go ahead.
And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses.
Go ahead.
And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord.
Were the laws given yet? No. So it's showing y'all that the laws that the Lord, he didn't actually give it to Moses yet. But the Israelites always had laws. Even before he gave us the 10 commandments. The Sabbath day was already here. That's what y'all never understand. Because we read Exodus 20, this Exodus what? 16? Why are we talking about the Sabbath day before that? And he said, what did he say about the Sabbath day? He said the rest of the what?
The rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord.
The holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Read.
Bake that which ye will bake today.
Same way we always tell everybody, cook what you're going to cook before it gets dark. This is how you know the Lord gave you strict commandment. And some of y'all keep saying, oh, we had the Christian Sabbath. Well, do y'all follow this? Because Big Mama always cook that big old Sunday dinner after church, don't you? Y'all go to Golden Corral, don't you? Keep reading.
And seethe that ye will seethe. And that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Right. Keep reading.
And they laid it up till the morning. And Moses bade, as Moses bade, and it did not stink. Neither was there any worm therein.
Because they got it right this time. They did exactly what the Lord did. They did it they did the statutes with the Lord. The Lord gave the commandment and the statutes, and they followed it the right way, and therefore you didn't have the worms, and it didn't melt. Because they did it exactly how God wanted them to do it. It wasn't Moses telling them to do it. The Most High gave Moses the commandment to get Israel. But because we get so daggone prideful and don't want to listen, that's why things keep happening to us. Keep reading.
And Moses said, eat that today.
Go ahead.
For today is a Sabbath unto the Lord.
Unto the Lord. Read.
Today ye shall not find it in the field.
You won't find it because the Lord is resting himself. He's telling you. Why would the Lord tell you? Why would the Lord keep raining bread and stuff from heavens on the Sabbath day when he told you to rest? Keep reading.
6 days ye shall gather it.
Go ahead.
But on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath,
go ahead.
In it there shall be none.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day.
See? Because we ain't listening. Because you don't believe the Sabbath day is on the 7th day. What did they do? Go ahead, read.
To gather, and they found none.
Being hard-headed. Keep reading.
And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws?
You see that? You see what the Lord said? The Lord said say what the Lord said to Moses again. Read it again. People don't understand. I don't think you understand what the Lord asked Moses.
The book of Exodus chapter 16 and verse 28.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Lord have given you the Sabbath.
The Lord did what?
Given you the Sabbath.
He gave you the Sabbath day. But y'all want to fight against it. The Lord gave it to you. Keep reading.
Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days.
2 days. The Lord said, okay, I'm going to give you a lot to gather up. So you don't even have to worry about it on the next day. But what do we do? I'm going to do it my way. Keep reading.
Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day. So the people rested on the seventh day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna. And it was like coriander seed. White. And the taste of it was like the wafers made with honey.
That sounds good. But nah, we don't want that. That's angels' food right there. But we don't want that, though. The Lord provides you everything you need. Okay? But what do? We follow our oppressor. Give me some scholarship, brother. Matter of fact, give me a little bit of the scholarship I'm going to need for the first one.
Okay, brother. Pull up. You want the Greek's book or you want the?
Give me the Greek. Give me the Christian. Give me that one.
Yeah, pull up that.
Show y'all something. See, I'm gonna show y'all something because remember we just said the Lord gave us the Sabbath day, right?
Ecclesiastical history.
We're gonna go to some history on y'all and show y'all why y'all go to church on Sundays. Why was it changed? Because we see here that God gave us the Sabbath day, right? We're gonna deal with some of that stuff. We're gonna go to some statutes within the Sabbath too.
Yeah, show that first.
Yeah. We're gonna go to some scholarship, y'all, to show y'all something on the historical facts on what they did, because we just read how the Lord gave Israel the Sabbath day, the commandments, right? And He gave her certain statutes. We're gonna deal with some statutes within the law too, because to show y'all something. It's certain statutes within the Sabbath day that we're supposed to keep, okay? But let's find out the historical facts on how it was changed. Go ahead. What is it? Ecclesiastical history?
An ecclesiastical history.
Yeah,
the other words are small.
Okay.
All right, it says the first Christian assembled. That's what it say, right?
Yeah.
The first Christians assembled for the purposes of divine worship in private houses, in caves, and in vaults where the dead were buried. Their meetings were on the first day of the week, and in some places they assembled also on the seventh, which was celebrated by the Jews.
Because the Israelites were given the laws, so that's why we kept the commandments. It was celebrated by us. Why? Because the Lord gave us the Sabbath day. We just read that. Go ahead.
Many also observed the fourth day of the week, on which Christ was betrayed, and on the sixth, which was the day of his crucifixion.
That's all confusion right there.
Right.
All that stuff you can see is man-made stuff. The Lord said in the Bible, the seventh day. But look at all the confusion right here. But keep reading.
During these sacred meetings, prayers were repeated. The Holy Scriptures were publicly read. Short discourses upon the duties of Christians were addressed to the people. Hymns were sung, and a portion of the oblation presented by the faithful was employed in the celebration of the Lord's Supper and the Feast of Charity.
Ain't no such thing as the Lord's Supper. Where's the Feast of Charity? You see how people make things up? Where's that at in the Bible? Keep reading.
What they call in the Lord's Supper is actually Passover.
Right. There's no such thing as the Lord's Supper, y'all. But once again, keep reading.
The Christians of this century celebrated anniversary festivals in commemoration of the death and resurrection of Christ, and of the effusion of the Holy Ghost upon
the anniversary of Christ's death.
Oh, anniversary of Christ's death, which was called Paschal Day or Passover.
Pashal, there we go.
Day.
So they know he was crucified on the Passover.
They knew that.
But up above they said something different.
Right.
Go
ahead.
Or Passover, because it was looked upon to be the name with that on which the Jews celebrated the feast of that name in the manner.
Ain't no looked upon. He was, when you read the scriptures,
Yep.
he was crucified on Passover.
Yep.
Christians of Asia Minor differed much from the rest, and in a special manner from those of Rome.
So hold on. So the Christians of Asia Minor, they kept Passover properly, whereas those in Rome and to the west, they kept, you're going to see Easter.
Mm-hmm.
They kept Easter. They kept it on the wrong day. Go ahead.
Christians of Asia Minor differ much from the rest, and in a more especial manner from those of Rome.
They both indeed
fasted during the great week, so that was called in which Christ died, and afterwards celebrated like the Jews, a sacred feast at which they distributed a paschal lamb in memory of the Holy Supper. But the
See, it said Holy Supper, but this is Passover. That's when we have to eat lamb.
Yep.
Go ahead.
But the Asiatic Christians kept this feast on the 14th day of the first Jewish month. When the Jews celebrated their Passover, and 3 days after commemorated the resurrection of the triumphant Redeemer.
So the Jews that's in Asia Minor, this is the places where Paul and the disciples is going.
And if y'all know what Asia is, Greece. So you're dealing with Greece during that time, because what Paul did, Paul spoke the Greek. So Paul went throughout when he did his ministry, Paul had to go through the Latin, Spain, Rome, where they spoke Latin. Let me get that right. They spoke the Greek and he spoke the Hebrew. So he had to go throughout all these different places doing what? Spreading the gospel to the Israelites. Go ahead, Jay.
And notice 14. So they're celebrating this the 14th day at even, which is the Passover. And it said the first Jewish month. That's the month of Abib.
Yep.
Go ahead. Yeah, just finish that out, and then Bethel, you go to the next.
They affirmed that they had derived this custom from the apostles John and Philip.
See, they got it directly from them. What they were doing was correct.
Go ahead.
And pleaded, moreover, in his behalf the example of Christ himself, who held Paschal feast on the day of the Jewish Passover.
So Christ himself kept the Passover. That's what they're really saying. That should be a shocker to some of y'all, because he kept the Passover, which means, guess what? Why you ain't keeping Passover?
Right.
We keep reading. Go ahead.
The Asiatic rule for keeping the Paschal feast was attended with two great inconveniences, to which the Christians at Alexandria and Rome and all the Western churches refused to submit.
So, and that Alexandria is talking about North Africa. So in North Africa and in Rome and other Western churches, they're already off. Go ahead.
For in the first place, as the Asiatics celebrated their festival on the same day, that Christ is said to have eaten the Paschal lamb with his disciples. This occasioned an inevitable interruption in the fast of the
Great week.
Oh,
Great
dang,
week.
I can't see that, Jane. The Great Week.
It says, which the other churches looked upon as almost criminal, at least as highly indecent. Nor was this the only inconvenience arising from the rule, for as they celebrated the memory of Christ's resurrection precisely on the third day after their Paschal feast, supper, it happened for the most part that this great festival, which after was called the Latin Paschal, and to which we give the name Easter, was holden on other days of the week than the first. The circumstance was extremely displeasing to the true great part of the Christians, was thought it unlawful to celebrate the resurrection on the Lord on any day but Sunday.
Why is that? Why would they not want it to be celebrated on any day but Sunday? Because they into sun god worship.
As that was the day on which the glorious event happened.
And that's a lie,
that's
too.
That's a lie. We go to the Bible and prove that's a daggone lie. But y'all see how wicked these so-called Christians are doing things. Christ himself kept the Passover the right way. The disciples kept the Passover the right way. But as soon as the 3rd century rolls around, when Christianity came into effect under Constantine, what they do, because Constantine was a sun god worshiper, he was a pagan worshiper. So what he did was he fused Christianity with paganism. And that's why y'all celebrate Sunday, S-U-N day, sun god worship day. See, some of y'all need to hear history and understand where this stuff comes from, because you never saw the disciples doing that. We're going to get into some of those scriptures y'all love to pull too.
Was that the last one?
Keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay, it says the first day of the week, which was the ordinary and stated time for the public assemblies of Christians, was in consequence of a peculiar law enacted by what? By who? Enacted by who? Constantine. Because we just mentioned Constantine.
Right on cue.
Can you can't get that
Well,
yeah.
make it bigger.
Make it bigger so I can read it. Because as you see, my eyes are not as strong as they used to be. It says Constantine observed with greater solemnity formerly have been. The festival celebrated and most of the churches were 5 in number.
What?
5 in number. They were appointed in commemoration of the birth, the sufferings and death, the resurrection and the ascension of the divine Savior, and also effusion of the Holy Ghost upon the apostles and first heralds of the gospel of the day of Pentecost.
So, you know how they always say, Ralph,
Uh-huh.
we trying to make up our own righteousness?
Right.
That's exactly what they did.
Right. Look, of these festivals, the Christian kept none with so much solemnity and respect as the 14 days they were appointed for the commemoration of the resurrection.
Where is that? Where'd that come from?
It comes from their own doctrine. Eastern, here we go. The Eastern Christians celebrate the memory of Christ's birth and baptism in one festival. Where the hell is that at? Which was fixed on the 6th of January. And thus day was by them called, called the Epiphany, as on the memorial Savior was manifested to the world. On the other hand, the Christians of the West seem to have always celebrated the birth of our Lord on the 25th of December.
You know what that is.
That's sun god worship day too, because Mithras, the sun is at its highest point, so that's we always celebrated that. The winter solstice. Okay? Excuse me. Can you back it up a little bit? I can't see all of it. Okay. For there appears to be very little certainty in the accounts of those who allege. See, Rulus Pontius Julius I removed the festival. See how they always changing stuff?
Yep.
Of the birth from the 6th of January to the December 25th. So all this ain't even in the Bible. So how you go from January? Now you can't find anywhere in the Bible where that shows all that.
Is that it?
The unlucky sources.
Yeah.
The Roman.
Yeah, make it a little smaller.
The Roman or Latin church is a system. See, this is what y'all don't see. America. Go ahead.
This is how all this got to be pushed, and everybody celebrates it across the planet today because of this. Because we always say that Christianity is a political doctrine.
It says the history of the Roman or Latin church. The Roman or Latin church is a system of government whose jurisdiction extends over a great part of the known world through its authority. Has been circumscribed within narrow limits since the happy revolution that in many countries delivered Christianity from the yoke of superstition and spiritual tyranny.
Right.
So it's showing y'all that Christianity is really a political doctrine. It's the same way today, separation church and state. Because remember, when politicians, they go to where they go to? They go to Christian leaders.
Right.
Who does the president go to? The Pope. Every president go to the Pope. Why is that? Why is that? You understand? See, that's what y'all don't understand. Christianity is a political doctrine. Because was Christ in politics? Because when Christ was in Rome, Christ didn't say vote. Nope. Pontius Pilate, Christ knew he was a demon. So Christ was against politics. Christ was against that wicked government. So some of y'all go voting for these demons. Guess what? You against Christ. You antichrist. Because you can't show me in the Bible when Christ told you to go and deal with politics. But Christianity in the 3rd century was pushing what? You had different ethics going on during those times.
Remember that one class we did and they had that guy, he's a reverend or something, and he was saying how God showed him that he shouldn't be a Democrat anymore. He should be a Republican.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. Right. But yeah, you can't show me where Christ himself was in politics. Or the disciples. The system was against them. Right. The system was against Christ.
Matter of fact, Christ said, my kingdom is not of this world.
Right. But yet y'all want to link up with these demons and vote. And think that's supposed to get y'all in the kingdom. Y'all want this wicked kingdom to go on forever. That's what y'all doing. Okay? Keep that in mind. Okay? All right, now let's go to some different we're gonna go to some different statutes within the law of the Sabbath day. All right, we're gonna go. First of all, give me Leviticus 23 verse 1 through 4.
I got it already.
And give me Psalms 81 verse 3, 4, and 5. Show y'all these are statutes within the law. See, this is y'all understand. See, y'all, we showing y'all different statutes of the law, right? How are we supposed to keep these things? Okay, Leviticus 23 verse 1 through 4.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
He always say, speak unto the children of Israel. He didn't say, speak to the Christians. He didn't say, speak to these people. He gave us the majestic laws. Read.
And say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord.
Of the who?
Of the Lord.
You sure there ain't no Jewish feast? Or a Pachal feast? He said, what feast again?
Concerning the feast of the Lord.
The feast of the Lord. Read.
Which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Holy gatherings. Go ahead.
Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done.
Go ahead.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
Why does he keep saying that? Because if it wasn't true, why does he keep saying that? The rest, the holy. Why does he say it's holy? Read.
A holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein.
Go ahead.
It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
All your dwellings. I don't care where you at. Jerusalem, America, the four corners of the earth, wherever you at, you better keep these feasts. Because these are what we call ceremonial laws. Okay, go ahead.
These are the feasts of the Lord.
Go ahead.
Even holy convocations.
Go ahead.
which ye shall proclaim in their season.
In their season. So the God sets it up a certain way. Let's give them one. Let's give them one feast day. Give me the Psalms 81 verse 3.
The book of Psalms chapter 81 and verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon.
Oh, Lord's will, we're going to have the memorial blowing up the trumpets. Blow up the trumpet in the new moons and the solemn feast day. The highest new moon is what we have, Lord's will, this Thursday. Memorial blowing up the trumpets. That's a feast of the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
In the time appointed.
The time appointed. Go ahead.
On our solemn feast day.
Solemn feast day. Read.
For this was a statute for Israel.
For who?
For Israel.
Go ahead.
And a law of the God of Jacob.
The law of the God of Jacob. Go ahead.
For this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out throughout the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
Where I heard a language I understood not.
Same way right now. A language I understood not. Okay, was that it?
Yep.
What verse was that?
5.
That's all I wanted. Give me Amos 8 and 5, and give me Nehemiah 10:31. Showing y'all some statutes within the law of the Sabbath day. Are y'all keeping this in y'all so-called Christian Sabbath?
Right.
The book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
Saying, when will the new moon be gone?
That's our people right there. You can't wait to go out there and do wickedness and go buy and sell and do stuff. The Sabbath day is supposed to be a delight into you. But you tell me when is this going to be over with? You know? Hate God. That's what you hate God. Read on.
That we may sell corn.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sabbath. That we may set forth wheat. Making the ephah small.
What this proves to y'all, the new moon is a Sabbath day. It means you can't buy, sell, and so forth. These are things that we should not. There's a statute within that law, right? Now give me Nehemiah 10:31 and give me Exodus 35:3, brother.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10.
I want Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 31.
Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 31.
And Exodus 35 and 3.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
So it's showing y'all we can't buy or sell on the Sabbath day. So some of you so-called Christians on your Sunday Sabbath, are y'all following that statute within that law?
No.
Because some of y'all go out the Golden Corral, you go out, you eating, you do these things. You don't supposed to be doing this on your so-called Sabbath day. You keep saying Sunday y'all Sabbath, right? Are y'all keeping this statute? Are you buying and selling? Because if you are, guess what? You're a lamb liar. I challenge you. We'll challenge you right now on it. And I'm not saying to be boastful. I'm saying it's supposed to have understanding. These are statutes within that law. It says you shouldn't do what? Go ahead, brother.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell,
go ahead,
that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath day or on the holy day.
On the what?
On the holy day. And that we would leave the 7th year and the exaction of every debt.
That's where they get your credit gets clear after 7 years. They get that from Israel. They get that the Most High gave us. So after 7 years, you're supposed to clear your debt with your brother. That's what they get when you clear your credit after 7 years. Where do you think they get that from? They get that from the law. See, they always taking stuff from our law and use it to implement it for themselves. Isn't that funny? But yet you don't want to keep commandments though. But you want to take our little laws, little statutes within our laws and use it for your own gain.
They got a lot of our laws on their books, but they don't enforce them.
Right.
Like most, Virginia has, I can't remember what you call the law, but if you commit adultery, you could, if somebody, your wife or your husband commit adultery,
you both go to jail.
Yeah, and you can sue them.
Yep.
But they don't
enforce that.
Yeah, they don't enforce it.
Exodus 35 and 3, brother. Exodus 31:13 too.
The book of Exodus, chapper 35 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations.
Don't Big Mama cook the big old Sunday dinner when y'all get from church? That means you don't supposed to be cooking. If Sunday your Sabbath day, like you said is, you're supposed to kindle a fire, which means no cooking. It don't mean you can't kindle a fire to warm yourself. That's like it's simple. It means that you cannot be cooking. Okay? But some of y'all on your so-called Sunday Sabbath day, y'all be cooking on this day. Buying and selling, some of y'all be working on that day, willingly. But you ain't keeping that statute. So, because the Lord said keep the Sabbath, keep it holy. But if you keep saying Sunday is your Sabbath day, guess what? You're not keeping that right. Let's find out who the Sabbath really was for. Exodus 31:13 through 18. Who has it?
The book of Exodus chapter 31 and verse 13. Mm-hmm. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel.
Here we go again. Always speaking. The Lord always. He ain't said speak to everybody. Speak thou to the nations. You hear him saying that?
Nope.
He always says speak unto the children of Israel. Keep reading, brother.
Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep.
My Sabbaths is plural. You should keep your new moons, Passover, all these days we're supposed to keep. Go ahead.
For it is a sign between me and you.
That means Seventh-day Adventists, you done. The Sabbath had nothing to do with you.
Right.
The Sabbath had nothing to do with nobody else but us. So guess what? So when y'all other nations want to break the Sabbath day, so be it. It's not for you anyway.
Right.
It's a sign between who? That's what the Bible say. What did it say?
Between me and you throughout your generations.
Go ahead.
That she may know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify you.
Doth sanctify who?
You.
You. He said you, Israel. He sanctified you. Read.
Ye shall keep my Sabbaths therefore.
Go ahead.
For it is holy unto you.
Holy unto who?
Unto you.
That means nobody else supposed to be dealing with it.
Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death.
You better be glad you got Christ.
For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Go ahead.
6 days may work be done.
Go ahead.
But in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest.
Go ahead.
Holy to the Lord.
Holy to the Lord. Here we go again.
Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death.
Boy, you better be glad you got, man, you better be glad we don't have our land. You better be glad we got Christ, boy. Because I'm telling you right now, the Lord take the Sabbath day very serious. Y'all think the Lord playing games? Why do you think most of people die on the Sabbath day? Friday night, Saturday. The Lord ain't playing. Okay, y'all keep on thinking the Lord playing. Keep reading.
Wherefore, the children of Israel,
Shall do what?
Shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant.
Perpetual means continual. That means it's not non-continual.
You want to pull it up?
Pull up perpetual, brother. Give me Google perpetual for a second. It's a perpetual covenant. A covenant is an agreement, a contract. The Lord said, I give you the commandments. I give you this as a holy covenant. What does perpetual means? Find out what that means. Let's try that one. See, y'all keep saying, oh, the Lord did away with that, brother. You don't have to keep the commandments.
Pastor be tap dancing like Gregory Hines.
Right. Show me perpetual. What does that mean? Perpetual means what? Never ending or changing. Never ending or changing. Never, I'm going to say it again. Never ending or changing. Read it again.
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations.
Go ahead.
For a perpetual covenant.
Continual. That means not non-stop. And it just said that's the definition. Keep reading.
Verse 17.
It is a what?
It is a sign between me and the children of Israel.
How long?
Forever.
Perpetual. Is he a man he shall lie? He said forever. It's a sign between me and the children of Israel forever, which means, guess what, brothers and sisters? As repenting Israelites, we're keeping the Sabbath day.
That's right.
I don't care what you say. The scriptures say this, but we're going to go to Christ, though. Because y'all other think, oh, what, Christ trumped the Sabbath day. Let's find out if he really did. Keep reading.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth.
Go ahead.
And on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed.
Keep reading.
And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon the Mount Sinai.
Go ahead.
2 tables of testimony.
Go ahead.
Tables of stone.
Go ahead.
Written with the finger of God.
So if this written with the finger of God, why would God go against his own word? You're calling God a liar. Because if Christ came their way with the commandments, you're saying that Christ himself is contradicting the Father. And Christ, we know Christ ain't going to do that. But let's go to the New Testament now. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 1 through 8 through 13, and I want 1 Samuel, chapter 21, verse 1 through 6. Yeah. Give me 1 through 8 first. There's a reason why I said that.
The book of Matthew.
Because when you stop at verse 8, I'm going to switch up and come back. That's why I said that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
At that time, Jesus went forth on the Sabbath day.
On the what day?
On the Sabbath day.
Okay, go ahead.
Through the corn. And his disciples were an hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn.
Let me ask a question. Did Christ pick any corn? Who was picking corn?
And his disciples were hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat.
Okay, go ahead.
But when the Pharisees saw it,
here we go.
They said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
Go ahead.
But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was an hungered, and they that were with him?
Go ahead.
How he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profaned the Sabbath?
Because remember something, on the Sabbath day you had certain courses that had to be done in the law. You had certain sacrifices on the law. You had certain things that had to be done according to the law. You would say that's they breaking the Sabbath day, but they doing the work of the Lord, right? So when Christ said to the Pharisees, because the Pharisees trying to find fault, the Pharisees said, okay, they doing what's unlawful on the Sabbath, they picking corn. But guess who wasn't picking corn? Christ wasn't. Okay, he's showing you. Go ahead.
Just gonna say same spirit on the modern day pastors.
Yep.
They looking for us to make a mistake so
Right.
they can accuse us.
Right. So it's the same spirit. They watching and see, they doing what's unlawful. So Christ hit them with, did you read what David did? Since we said that, 1 Samuel 21 verse 1 through 6. Then we're going back to Matthew and we're going to continue.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 21 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Then came David to Nob, to Ahimelech, the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, Why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech, the priest, The king have commanded me a business, and have said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee.
Let's stop. Where David is letting him know, David was on the run. Because Saul's trying to kill David. So at this time, David didn't have time to prepare nothing for him and his men. So he was basically running away. So he basically they was hungry. So they was coming to get the showbread, which is only lawful for the priest to eat. Okay? So at this particular time, David right now is the hunger with his men. These are holy men of the Lord, though. Read. Let's find out what happened.
Let no man know anything about the business whereabout I send thee.
Go ahead.
And what I have commanded thee. And I have appointed my servants to such and such a place.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in mine hand, or what there is present.
Now watch what the priest say.
And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hallowed bread, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women.
So it's telling you that the men couldn't have been with women at this time, because you would have been considered unclean at this time. So that's why he asked the priest, say, look, I can give you this bread, but you want to make sure that your men haven't dealt with no women. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 5, and David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days, since I came out. And the vessel of the young men are holy.
Some of their bodies are holy. Go ahead.
And the bread is in a manner common. Yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel.
Go ahead.
So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before the Lord, to put not bread in the day when it was taken away.
So at this particular time, there's hot bread, which you know you shouldn't be killing the fire, but it was only for the priest. At this particular time, David was getting a need. Matter of fact, hold that. Give me Mark 2:23, because Christ really, and you really don't have to hit me with that. But go to that Mark
2:23.
Yeah, give me that Mark 2:23. You can stay with that Matthew, because I'm gonna show you Christ is expounding more on it in Mark. That's why you have to read precept upon precept to understand what Christ is explaining.
Go
ahead, brother.
The book of St. Mark, chapter 2, and verse 23.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass that he went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and his disciples began as they went to pluck the ears of corn.
Go ahead.
And the Pharisees said unto him, behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful?
Go ahead.
And he said unto them, have you never read what David did when he had need?
He had what?
He had need.
He had what?
Need.
Go ahead.
And was in hunger. He and they that were with him.
Go ahead.
How he went into the house of God in the days of
Abiathar.
Abiathar, the high priest, and did eat the showbread, which is not lawful to eat but for the priest, and gave also to them which were with him.
Go ahead.
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath.
Go ahead.
Therefore the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath.
So what it's showing you, Christ had to shut them down. Wait a minute. David did, it was provided a need. Let me give y'all an example so I can clarify this for y'all. Let's say the brothers here, let's say and this has happened to us before. We're on a road trip. And let's say we run out of food. It can happen. Or let's say our food, something happened to it. Let's say our food got lost somewhere. Let's say it got lost, or we forgot our food. Something could have happened. It's a Sabbath day coming up. The men are hungry. Okay, we need gas to travel. We have a flat tire. It's lawful for us to get something to eat because it's provided a need. It don't mean we supposed to go to we supposed to go to Outback Steakhouse and sit down and eat a whole doggone meal. What it means is for us, we could stop at the grocery store, grab some sandwich meat or something like that to provide a need to eat for that time because of the need. That's what Christ is explaining to the Pharisees. It is provided a need. These men aren't willingly breaking the Sabbath day. It's just an emergency. You're giving mercy. So let's say if a person gets sick on the Sabbath day, you can go to the store and buy some medicine for you because it's a provide a need. So what he's saying is telling his Pharisees, don't get simple. These men are men of the Lord. They're not breaking the Sabbath day willingly.
Yeah, because it's like you shouldn't set your life up like, well, I'm gonna wait till the Sabbath to go and do this. That's when it becomes a sin. When you make a conscious effort to wait for the Sabbath day to go out and do something. It's different if something just comes up and something happens.
That's right.
But if you're doing it willfully, that's what makes it a sin.
And that is about willful sin. That's what Christ is explaining to these men in so many words. He didn't do it with the Sabbath day. He just said the Lord of Man. He said that the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath day because Christ also healed on the Sabbath day. Matter of fact, go back to Matthew 12 and finish from 8 and keep reading.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 8.
Go ahead.
For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day.
Go ahead.
And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue.
Go ahead.
And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered.
Go ahead.
And they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days? That they might accuse him.
You see that? They might. Who's accused of the brethren? Satan is. So they trying to figure out a way. Okay, well, he breaking the Sabbath day. Let's find. Let's see if he gonna heal him on the Sabbath day. Read.
Verse 11. And he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep? And if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out?
Christ is asking them, if your sheep fall, are you going to lift them out? You're going to let them sit there? No, you're going to pick them up and get them out of the pit. Keep reading. Christ is simplifying this for him. Go ahead.
How much then is a man better than a sheep?
Right. Is a man better than a sheep? Go ahead.
Wherefore, it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day, but keep reading. Christ is showing you something.
Then said he to the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth. And it was restored whole like as the other.
Verse 14, I'm showing y'all something. Look at the spirit on him.
Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him.
Same way they do to us. They try to figure out a council. Because we try to do what's right, showing mercy to our people. Nah, we're gonna go get a council to figure out how we're gonna destroy this joker. That's the same spirit that the Pharisees had on them to oppose Christ. Okay? To oppose the Messiah. Go ahead, brother.
They don't want to lose their place in authority with America.
Right. Give me some more
Brother, pull up the Greeks and the Romans. Or do you want the video?
Give me the video, then give me the Greeks and the Romans, then I want Daniel 7:25. Let's find out. And we pulled this video before. We got to pull it again, though. We got to show y'all something, what they know. Okay, this man going to ask a question. He going to show y'all where this stuff come from. We just read some scholarship on where it came from. And we're going to read some more scholarship. Check this out, y'all.
After the video, go to the link.
Go to the link after that.
I have repeatedly offered $1,000 to anyone who can prove to me from the Bible alone that I am bound to keep Sunday holy. There is no such law in the Bible. It is a law of the Holy Catholic Church alone. The Bible says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The Catholic Church says, no, by my divine power I abolish the Sabbath day and command you to keep holy the first day of the week. And lo, the entire civilized world bows down in a reverent obedience to the command of the Holy Catholic Church. T. Enright, CSSR, in a lecture at Hartford, Kansas, February 18th, 1884. The Catholic Church for over 1,000 years before the existence of a Protestant, by virtue of her divine mission, changed the day from Saturday to Sunday. The Catholic Mirror, September 23rd, 1893. Question: which is the Sabbath day? Answer: Saturday is the Sabbath day.
Shut it down.
Question:
Shut it down. So, go ahead.
You know what's funny is because the Protestants always trying to separate themselves from the Catholic Church.
Right.
But like we tell them, you doing the same thing that they doing. They even try to tell you that the Catholic Church is the beast. Yeah, they try to say the Catholic Church is the fourth beast.
Lord have mercy. I don't know how the wrong they are. You know what's amazing about that, y'all? We had to pull that because we want to show y'all Edomites saying it. Because when we say it, y'all think we crazy. This man telling y'all straight up, the Sabbath day never changed. Give me the literature. Let's go to the literature now. Show y'all something. We gotta show y'all stuff.
Scroll down to canon number 29.
Canon number 29, and I want you to blow it up. We're gonna read this. Show y'all something. Now, y'all just heard him say what he said, right? We're gonna go to a scripture and show y'all how after this, show y'all who really changes.
But it's funny how we say that we're Israel, so-called blacks and Hispanics are the Israelites, and everybody wants to challenge that and want to do their research, but they never research stuff like this.
Nope. But as you can see, we research everything. You see what we showing you? We showing y'all primary sources, y'all. Mm-hmm. What is it? Was it Canon 29?
Yeah, Canon 29.
Can you blow that bad boy up a little bit?
It's so wide.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to see. Okay. Let's find out what Canon 29 says. Or can you read it? Can you read it, Bethel? Because it's so daggone small, it's hard for us to see it. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it. Leave it right there. I got it right here on my phone.
Go ahead.
It says Christians must not Judaize by resting on the Sabbath.
Ain't that something? Didn't the Bible just say rest on the Sabbath day? But what does Christian say? What they say?
Christians must not Judaize by resting on the Sabbath day, but must work on that day.
Did the Lord say no working?
Right. A direct contradiction on what the Lord said. Rather honoring the Lord's day. What? And if they can, resting then as Christians. But if any shall be found to be Judaizers, let them be anathema for Christ. So to be a Christian, you can't keep God's commandments, I guess.
Exactly. So they're clearly telling you to defy God.
Exactly.
Because God said rest on the Sabbath day. They said, no, don't rest. God said don't do no work. They said work. So who really is Antichrist? That's Antichrist and anti-God. You hate God. And right.
True.
Y'all don't understand that this version of Christianity was forced upon our people, and now it's to the point where you gladly accept it.
Yep.
But this was forced on us. You either had to do this, you had to get baptized and become a Christian.
That's right.
Or you got burnt to death.
That's right.
That was your choice.
That's right. That's right. Was that it? For this?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So
give me Daniel 7:25. I told y'all we had the scripture for that to prove to y'all that Daniel prophesied this was going to happen. Then I went to the book of Acts 13:13 to prove that with Paul. Because if the Sabbath day was done away with, why is Paul talking about this?
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25.
Go ahead.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Aren't they doing that today? Speaking great words against the Most High? By saying, for one, they're saying he don't exist. by saying that he's above the Lord through his technology, speak great words against the Most High, against his people. Go ahead.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
You better believe it and wore us out. We wore out like you wouldn't believe. Okay, to the point where we so delusional right now. Through slavery, hard bondage, all these things, he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Go ahead.
And think to change times and laws.
Didn't you just see what they just did? Change times and laws, like the Sabbath day. Because even this Edomite just said they changed it. Since y'all don't want to believe us, and we got documentation to prove that it was changed. Through Constantine, he changed it. Okay, was that it?
Nope. Mm-hmm. And thinking to change times and laws.
Go ahead.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time and the times and the dividing of time.
Mm-hmm. It's a dispensation of time. We're in his hands right now, y'all. We're in rulership. They got us under their rulership. Okay? Let's stay in the New Testament. Give me the book of Acts 13:13 through 15, and give me Matthew 28, verse 1 through 6.
All right, the book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
Now when Paul and his company loosened from Pamphylia, from Paphos, they came to Perga in Pamphylia. And John, departing from them, returned to Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
But when they departed from Perga, they came to Antioch in Pisidia, and went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day.
What day?
On the Sabbath day.
So Christ died at this point, right? Why is Paul still doing this on the Sabbath day if the Sabbath day was done away with? Go ahead.
And sat down. And after the reading of the law and the prophets, the rulers of the synagogue sent unto them, saying, Ye men and brethren, if ye have any word of exhortation for the people, say on.
Go ahead.
Then Paul stood up and beckoning with his hand said, Men of Israel.
Men of who?
Men of Israel.
Go ahead.
And ye that fear God, give audience.
Give audience. On the Sabbath day, reading of the law. If the law is done away with, why is Paul still dealing with the law?
On the Sabbath
day. Explain it to me. Stay in Acts 20 and 7.
Next verse.
Next verse. Go ahead.
The God of this people of Israel chose our fathers and exalted the people when they dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt. And with an high arm brought he them out of it.
It's showing y'all the Lord only dealing with Israel even in the New Testament. So some of y'all are talking about something. The Lord ain't. Why is he still talking about Israel right here? And the Sabbath day and the reading of the law.
Because the gospel was promised to our fathers, and we are their children.
Stay in Acts 20 and 7. Acts 20 and 7. Stay in Acts 20 and 7 and I want you to give me Matthew 28. There we go.
The book of Acts, chapter 20 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
Oh, man. You might want to start at 6.
You can start at 6.
Because this is talking about Passover. And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread.
Go ahead.
And came unto them to Troas in 5 days, where we abode 7 days. And upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continued his speech until midnight.
Now, this is the thing to trip me out with y'all. Y'all want to pull this to try to say that this is Sunday. It didn't say nothing about the Sabbath day. It just said the first day they just broke bread. So where do y'all use this to prove that the Sabbath day was changed?
Because Pastor told him so.
Right. Because it just said they broke bread. That's all it said. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 1 through 3 now. Let's go to this because these are scriptures that y'all try to pull to prove that y'all think the Sabbath day changed. I didn't see nobody in the scripture say they changed the Sabbath.
Right. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Now concerning the collection for the saints, as I have given order to the churches of Galatia,
Go ahead.
even so do ye.
Right.
Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store, as God hath prospered him, that there be no gatherings when I come.
Go ahead.
And when I come, whomsoever ye shall approve by your letters, them will I send to bring your liberality unto Jerusalem.
And that's it.
Right.
It's just a collection of the what? Of the saints upon the first day of the week. Where's the change of the Sabbath day at? What is it? I ain't seen it. I still haven't seen it.
No, there is none.
Give me the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 1 through 6.
The book of Matthew, chapter 28 and verse 1. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn, toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended
on verse 1. What did it say in verse 1?
in the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week.
Between the what? It said, but as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week. What that means, y'all, is Christ was already gone. So that third day nonsense y'all talking about Sunday, that is out of order. Because at the end of the day, how do you get 3 days from Friday to Sunday? So you see what I'm saying? You see how crazy? So it's at the Sabbath day, as it begin to dawn toward the first day of the week.
But just as we read in the first set of scholarship, that they couldn't see themselves worshiping on any other day other than Sunday.
Sunday.
Because of that sun god worship.
Exactly. Yeah, all right, after that. No, that's all I wanted with that, brother. You ain't got to keep reading. Give me the book of Acts 17.
Yeah, the book of Acts chapter 17 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. Now when they had passed through Amphipolia and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where was a synagogue of the Jews. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
So why is Paul still going on Sabbath days? Why he ain't going on the first day of the week?
And why he in the synagogue of the Jews? Right.
Why? Exactly. These are questions y'all need to answer us. Because why he ain't on the first day of the week? Because the Sabbath always been always the seventh day. So why Paul is going on the Sabbath days, not the first day of the week?
And like we read in Acts 13, he's in the synagogue on the Sabbath day, and they reading the law and the prophets, and he's talking about the God of this people of Israel.
There we go. Let's go to the scholarship.
Right, y'all got Paul twisted.
Yes, you do. Okay, let's go to some more scholarship, and then we're gonna be shutting down pretty soon.
So we read earlier about Paul and John and those churches of Asia Minor, how they was keeping things properly and keeping the Passover, and all that. So this book is called "The Jews Among the Greeks and the Romans." Let's see what the Jews were doing while they were among the Greeks and Romans. Let's see if they was keeping the first day of the week.
Yeah, he gonna have to read what it says up there so you can have an understanding of what it's talking about. Because this is history, y'all. This is stuff that our people need to know. Okay, they need to know what's going on.
When we got some scholarship, we're gonna bring out either next week or sometime soon, showing how our people were still keeping the commandments. They called it Judaizing.
Yep.
But it's just we were keeping our commandments in other lands, and they were killing us for it.
Check this out, y'all.
The book is titled "The Jews Among the Greeks and Romans: A Diasporian source book. All right, and it reads, wherever Jews settled in any number outside Judea, the focal point of their communal life was the synagogue, basically a prayer hall, to which various ancillary structures such as dining and guest rooms might be attached. The complex had many functions, besides being the locus for the teaching of the law.
So hold on. So what we read about Paul going to the synagogue, because our people were spread all throughout Asia Minor, and there were synagogues there where he was going.
Go ahead.
Most notably on the Sabbath.
On the what?
On the Sabbath.
Go ahead.
And the venue for the worship of God. It is also operated at the community's social, administrative, and legal century. The commoner words for it reflects its principal usages. Proshe, shushe, lit prayer, stresses its function as a prayer house and synagogue assembly. Its role as the community's gathering place, holy place, a term found in inscriptions of the 3rd century and later, points to the increased liturgical significance of the synagogue in the era after the destruction of the temple.
So basically, it was where our people hung out.
Yep.
So even not only like we would go and worship on the Sabbath day, but when you read Paul and not Paul, but Christ and the disciples, they were going to the temple every day.
Augustus therefore knew that they, the Jews of Rome, had prayer houses and met in them.
So hold on. So this was who Paul was talking to in the book of Romans. The Jews in Rome. Those scattered Israelites in Rome. Because there's synagogues there too. Go ahead.
Especially on the 7th day, when publicly they undergo instruction in their ancestral philosophy. He also knew that they collected sacred money from the first fruits and sent them to Jerusalem by means of envoys who would offer sacrifices on their behalf. Nonetheless, he neither expelled them from Rome nor deprived them of their Roman rights, because they were mindful of their Jewish ones. Nor did he introduce any changes into their prayer houses or prevent them from assembling for the exposition of the law or obstruct their offering of the first fruits.
So see, back then, they allowed you to keep the commandments. When you go later on, like another 1,000 years, they putting you to death for keeping the commandments. In all those places, it was called the Inquisition. That's good. That's it.
Okay. Now, this is the thing, y'all. What it's showing y'all is how wicked these people are towards us. Even today, when you bring it up to today on how they treat us when keeping the commandments, even our own people is against us keeping the commandments. It's a shame because the Lord implemented this. That's the problem. God did this, but we're gonna show y'all something. Oh, go ahead.
When you look at Christians, they say like they're waiting for this Antichrist to come.
Right.
But you are the Antichrist.
Right. Because that means you're against Christ. You're against the Lord. Let's go to Revelation chapter 1, verse 9 and 10. And I want Isaiah 66 and verse 22 and 23.
The book of Revelation,
the last book of the Bible,
chapter 1 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation and in the kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ, was in the isle that is called Patmos for the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ.
The testimony, the revealing of Christ. Jump to verse 9.
Oh, that was 9. That was 9.
No, Revelations 1 and 9.
That was that was
okay,
it.
okay. In verse 10, I'm sorry.
Verse 10.
I apologize.
I was
Because I had something else in my mind. I had another scripture, but go ahead.
I was in the spirit on the Lord's day.
On the who day?
On the Lord's day, and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet.
As we know, the Lord's day is a Sabbath. So John the Revelator on the island of Patmos in 90 A.D. He was speaking. The Lord was dealing with him on the Sabbath day, the Lord's day. So it never changed because what's the Lord's day? Because the Sabbath days all throughout the Bible, even in the New Testament, it's always been the Sabbath day of the Lord. Always. It never changed. But give me Isaiah chapter 66 verse 22 and 23.
The book of Isaiah.
Check this out.
Chapter 66 and verse 22.
Go ahead.
For as the new heavens and the new earth.
Now the new heavens and the new earth, this is a future tense, y'all. Read.
Which I will make shall remain before me.
Shall is future tense. Shall remain before me. Go ahead, brother.
Saith the Lord.
Go ahead.
So shall your seed and your name remain.
Lord's will.
And it shall come to pass that from one new moon.
For what? What?
From one new moon.
So you're telling me we're going to keep a new moons in the kingdom. For one new moon.
Which is a Sabbath.
Yep. Go ahead.
From one new moon to another.
Go ahead.
And from one Sabbath to another. Shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord.
And that's how you know the laws ain't done away with, because why on God's green earth will you be keeping new moons and Sabbath days in the kingdom? Right. If they don't mean nothing, y'all, why is he saying that shall be, it shall, new heavens and new earth? That means the kingdom. That's how important the commandments are. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 21 in the book of Acts chapter 5 verse 29, y'all. That concludes it today. If y'all don't understand it today, I don't know what else to tell you. Because we just proved to y'all, Lord's will, we get the kingdom. We keeping all these days. Because they unto the Lord. These are the Lord's days. Right. That's what y'all don't understand. These are God's days. He created these days. He ordained these days. 1 Peter 2:21, brother.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21.
Go ahead.
For even hereunto were ye called.
You were called to this marvelous truth. Go ahead.
Because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example.
Go ahead.
That ye should follow his steps.
We follow his steps. Christ kept the commandments. We keeping the commandments. We following his steps. Read on.
Who did no sin.
Go ahead.
Neither was guile found in his mouth.
Go ahead.
Who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not.
Go ahead.
But committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
Righteously. That's who we get judged by. The Most High through Christ. We ask for mercy through Christ. That's the most important thing. The book of Acts chapter 5 verse 29, brother.
The book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 29.
Go ahead.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said,
go ahead.
We ought to obey God rather than men.
And that's who we must obey, brothers and sisters. We must obey Christ and the keeping of the commandments rather than the city ideologies of man. Simple as that, y'all. Keeping the commandments in the faith of Christ. We want to get the Most High Christ all the praise and glory for allowing us to even expound on this word just a little bit. Okay? All praises to the Most High Christ. Was everyone clear on today's topic? Everyone clear? Yes, sir. I can hear you.
You know, what everybody got to understand, what they really don't get, is that Christ is the Most High. He don't change. Malachi 3 and 6.
Yep.
If he don't change,
I almost pulled that.
nothing.
Right, right.
It's like they gather that.
Yep.
You know, man, beautiful class, man.
All praises.
Beautiful class. I just pray that our people who just learning this truth,
Yep.
I pray they see it.
All praises. All praises. Exactly. You know, the Lord don't change. We the ones that change.
And Christ says in John 17, I and the Father are one. They on the same accord. Ain't nothing changed.
That's right.
Nothing.
That's right. But like I said, Most High Christ bless to everybody. All praises to the brothers and sisters who were able to listen today. Hopefully y'all got some out today's class. Get prepared, y'all. A holy convocation is coming up. The memorial blowing up the trumpets. Okay, enjoy. Is a Sabbath. Is a double Sabbath for some of y'all who don't. Some of y'all that's new. It starts when it gets dark on Thursday night, and it goes to the weekly Sabbath, which means no buying and selling. You can cook on that day, but you cannot buy or sell or work on that day. Understand those are the holy feast days of the Lord. It's the highest new moon, brothers and sisters. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Enjoy it, because remember, we may not know how many we may have. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy each other. Is a holy convocation. That's one thing we have to keep in mind. Israel, we all we got. We all we got, okay? Also, go to the website. Check some stuff out, y'all. Reach out, okay? But like I said, we're going to give the Most High Christ all the praise and glory. Peace and blessings to everybody. And with that, we want to say shalom.